Good morning. The only announcement this morning that I know of is who is up here before you. My name is Joan Thompson-Stein. I'll be the worship associate this morning. Dennis Randall is going to offer our message this morning and is our pulpit speaker for the morning, and I'd like to bring him forward to welcome you.
Good morning. You are welcome here from wherever you have come to wherever you are going. We are all on a journey. We share a common desire to travel in peace and in the comfort of friends. Know that here you are welcome. Know that here you are at home forever long you wish to be. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. Carefully rehearsed spontaneity. Please join me in singing hymn number 349, We Gathered Together. What? Chalice. Oh, jeez. Huh? Yes. The horizon grows dark, and the future appears grim. A time storm is coming, my friend. Take my hand, and together we'll face the rising and threatening tide. I believe in you, you believe in me. Together we believe in one another. Together we will survive, because we are strong together. Now, we will do hymn number 349, We Gather Together. Rise as you are able and add your voice to the chorus.
This is the time when we offer to one another, straight from our heart, whatever it is we wish to express or whatever it is we wish those here hold with us in silence. Before we begin, we have in your pew a card with music on two sides. I invite you to flip, if you need to side one. We will sing that through once.
Join me for a moment in prayer. We are our brothers and sisters' keepers. We owe one another our loyalty, our gratitude, our love and comfort. Even if we don't agree with each other, we are still one family, one people on this planet, pale and blue. We need one another. We are not meant to live this life alone like cats without a home. We are family.
And side 2, if you would. And now, our offertory anthem, America the Beautiful.
Beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, make of thy gold till all success be nobleness and everything divine.
They do make it beautiful, don't they? I'm reading an excerpt from the History Channel. It's called The First Decoration Day. Back in 1996, David Blight, a professor of American history at Yale University, was researching a book on the Civil War when he had one of those once-in-a-career eureka moments. A curator at Harvard's Houghton Library asked if he wanted to look through 2 boxes of unsorted material from Union veterans. There was a file, he remembers, labeled First Decoration Day. Still amazed at his good fortune. And inside, on a piece of cardboard, was a narrative handwritten by an old veteran plus a date referring to an article in the New York Tribune. That narrative told the essence of the story of, quote, this march on the racetrack in 1865. The racetrack in question was the Washington Race Course and Jockey Club in Charleston, South Carolina. In the late stages of the Civil War, the Confederate Army transformed the formerly posh country club into a makeshift prison for Union captives. More than 260 Union soldiers died from disease and exposure while being held in the racetrack's open-air infield. Their bodies were hastily buried in a mass grave behind the grandstands. When Charleston fell and Confederate troops evacuated the badly damaged city, those freed from enslavement remained. One of the first things those emancipated men and women did was to give the fallen Union prisoners a proper burial. They exhumed the mass grave and reinterred the bodies in a new cemetery with a tall, whitewashed fence inscribed with these words, "Martyrs of the Race Course." And then, on May 1, 1865, something even more extraordinary happened. According to 2 reports that Blight found in the New York Tribune and the Charleston Courier, a crowd of 10,000 people, mostly freed slaves with some white missionaries, staged a parade around the racetrack. 3,000 black school children carried bouquets of flowers and sang John Brown's Body. Members of the famed 54th Massachusetts and other black Union regiments were in attendance and performed double-time marches. Black ministers recited verses from the Bible. If the news reports are accurate, that 1865 gathering at the Charleston racetrack would be the earliest Memorial Day commemoration on record.
Good morning again. My name is Dennis Randall, and this is the service for Memorial Day. Memorial Day is much more than simply a gateway to summer. It is the day that we, the people, have set aside to honor the sacrifice of the 1 million-plus sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, nieces and nephews, cousins, all heroes who died to defend the American dream that we are all created equal and that we're each endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We, the living, owe a debt of gratitude to the men and women who have given all in freedom's defense. The defense of our nation, our republic, our democracy, our Constitution, and our way of life. As a disabled, non-combat Vietnam veteran, affected by the ongoing impact of Agent Orange, the gift that keeps on giving, I offer a few observations for your consideration on this weekend. If we genuinely wish to honor the veterans who gave everything in defense of our nation, we must also honor the values and ideals they sacrificed to protect. That is our Constitution, our republic, and our democracy. We're at a time in our history when this nation is deeply divided, and the future of our republic and our democracy depends upon us. Each one of us carry the future and the key to tomorrow in our pocket. On Memorial Day, as any national holiday, we hear people talk about patriotism. And I have this to say: patriotism is not partisan. Patriotism isn't Democrat. It's not Republican. It's American. It feels hypocritical to express gratitude to veterans while simultaneously supporting authoritarianism, fascism, or attempting to undermine the voting rights of our fellow citizens based upon personal preferences, racial bias, difference in love and relationship. Such actions seem to render that thank you empty and devoid of meaning. It is important to understand that veterans did not lay down their lives to defend racist institutions, although racism is present in our society. Their sacrifice was made to defend our Constitution and our way of life, a way of life that upholds the freedom, liberty, and dignity of every citizen of this nation. While I acknowledge, and we must acknowledge if we are to be honest with ourselves, there are flaws within our system. But it is within those flaws that we find the potential for perfection. Our system allows us to correct our mistakes, learn from our history, if we bother to teach our history honestly and truthfully, and our Constitution. We have the ability to become better versions of ourselves if we but try. We have a common desire for liberty and justice for all. Our way of life is a freedom-loving democracy. These are the things that unite us as a people, despite the many differences we may have. These are the things that make you and I an American. Being a Republican doesn't make you an American. Being a Democrat doesn't make you an American. Being American makes you American. And by the way, if you wish to become an American citizen, you must first swear an oath of allegiance to our Constitution. In part, that oath every new citizen of this country takes goes like this: I will support and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. With that oath, you become an American citizen. If you are lucky enough to be born here, you don't have to swear anything. You don't have to believe in anything. And therein lies the problem. Today, we've got a lot of people who call themselves American that don't seem to have a single solitary clue of what it means to be an American. They seem to think that you got to have a big-ass American flag bolted to the back end of your truck. Banners and buttons make you an American. Nope, makes you a flag holder. But the flag is a symbol of our nation. It is not the nation. Patriotism isn't red, white, and blue. Patriotism is caring about this country, and yes, its citizens of every shade, even the ones that don't look like us, even the ones we don't agree with. Protecting your liberty and my liberty is my responsibility as an American. I don't have to like who you vote for, but I have an obligation to make sure that you have a right to vote. I don't have to like the way you think, but it's my duty to make sure that you have the freedom to think. I may not agree with what you say, but I have a commitment to support your right to add your voice to public debate. However, freedom of speech is not a blank check. It is not a license to lie, to spread hate, or call for the violent overthrow of our government. It's not the right to terrorize others with your hatred. It is the freedom to express yourself reasonably and truthfully. God knows we are less than perfect. I served in Vietnam unwillingly. Nonetheless, I did my duty. I served, got an honorable discharge, and when I got out, I joined the Vietnam Veterans Against the War, and I marched against that stupid, bloody war for the next 5 friggin' years. When the war ended, I joined the United States Army, Active Reserve, D Troop, 5th Armored Cavalry, as a squad leader, vehicle commander, Sergeant E5. Go figure. I did so because I believe it is a citizen's responsibility to stand with his or her country when it is right. It is also our responsibility as citizens to stand against our country when it is wrong. By oppose, I mean peacefully. We organized in the Vietnam War. We marched on Washington. We got arrested by the tens of thousands as acts of civil disobedience. We labored to elect representatives who would work for peace. We didn't storm the Capitol. And there's a big difference between protest and insurrection. Some people thought we were treasonous. I was treasonous because I came home from the war and publicly opposed the war. History stands in judgment. I think we were right. I think the war was wrong, and we ended it. That's what free people do. That's how free citizens change the country. We marched peacefully, protested peacefully, and prevailed peacefully. If you're an American, act like an American. Love your country, even the people you don't agree with. Love democracy, even the people that don't vote like you. Every citizen of this country has an inalienable right to vote, a right to speak, and a place at the table. This is what our veterans that we honor this day, who sacrificed all in the name of freedom, gave their lives to protect. We honor them by respecting their sacrifice, by looking inward at what it means, what they gave us, and our responsibility as citizens to enjoy and practice the freedoms they died to preserve. That's what I served to protect when I was a young man. I opposed the war, but I took an oath nonetheless to preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of our great country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath is what unites every single veteran, living and dead. It is our common denominator. We come from all parts of the country, all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of ethnicity, but we have that oath in common. And in my book, that oath has no expiration date. That's what I want you to remember. That's what I want to remember on this Memorial Day weekend. This day, tomorrow, and this weekend, we'll picnic, we'll party, and some of us will take the time to say thank you to those who gave everything so that we can picnic and party and say thank you. It's that simple. Freedom is our legacy. It is their gift to us. It is up to us to use that freedom wisely and collectively to each other's benefit. Have a great Memorial Day. God bless America. And at the end of this service, you're invited to the Beale House across the street for coffee and conversation. We can chat, exchange stories and memories, and recall those we do not want to forget on this important holiday. Thank you. Oops. Yeah. Please join me in our closing anthem, 159, This Is My Song. Rise as you are able. And Tony will do a great job.